I wanted to talk to you about your culture ad. Now, you've got some course product thing that you're sharing, a message you're sharing, something you're making, expertise you want to share with the world. And then you're looking around and you're going, oh, other people are doing it. Other people are making courses about goal setting or self-care, riding horses, whatever it is. And then you're thinking, like, why are they going to get it by for me when so many people are doing that? Now, here's the thing, so many people might be doing the same thing, but no one is doing it like you. So that's where this culture ad piece comes in. I heard it from Danielle Leslie, and then she might have, I don't know if she coined the phrase or, but I heard it from her first years ago. And it's about those things that make you different, the things that make you you. And these are things from your culture, from your lived experience, from your life and how your life has been. So it's those things that make you different, where you almost be like, oh, I can't do this because I'm XYZ. So all the things that you actually think are the reasons you can't do something actually tend to be the reasons why you're different and unique. And those are the things you need to draw into and lean on. So for me, it's like I have got a bit of a different upbringing for this. So I don't think if I meet someone on the road, like they're not likely to have lived the life I've lived or experience I've lived. I was born in Zambia in Africa, moved to the UK when I was about 4 or 5, lived in Wales, which is my father's country. Moved to Kenya for a couple of years as sort of 10 to 12, that kind of age. And all those things have actually shaped my worldview, shaped how I see things, being mixed race, and not, and yeah, even just being mixed race, you could say, oh, but there's loads of mixed race people, and there are. But when I was younger, most of the time, if I saw a mixed race family, I saw a black father and a white mother, and I had the opposite. I have a black Africa mother and a white Welsh father. So that was again different. So even when you feel like, oh, that's kind of the same, I'm the same as everyone else, there's still something different and unique, and that is going to draw people in, because there's people who are going to see something of a shared experience with you, a sort of sense of like, you understand me, you get me, and those things are all the things that you should bring into it. And sometimes I grew up, I didn't actually have black or brown friends growing up. I lived in an English village that was pretty much mostly white. I think there was two Asian families when we moved there in the late 80s. My mum was like the first black person there. We were the first mixed race family. And no, there was another lady who I think was Afro-Turkish. So she was very light, but her hair wasn't like straight, so like maybe most Turkish people you'd think of. It was like more Afro textured. So there was them, and then it was like us, and it was just like people would look at us, and kids would ask funny weird questions, and ignoring questions because they just weren't familiar. So there's that experience that's gonna like make me see the world differently from someone else. And growing up in a small medium village in England, my life was completely different from someone growing up in the inner cities. So when I actually first started having had my first black friend that was like my own, that I've met through like school, college, etc., I was 16. So that might sound really strange to someone else who grew up somewhere like London, who has had uh, friends who look like them all their whole life. My friends who look like me were were scattered all across the world, and then we'd sort of try and meet up every now and then. Someone's over, we meet up, and we do these lovely get-togethers. But it was not my experience to live with people who look like me, apart from my brothers. So again, that shapes my outlook in life. And then when I went to uni, and there was a lot more diversity at university, we would get, my friend and I, we were getting teased. They were calling us country and saying that we spoke properly and laughing at our accents and how we speak. And to be honest, I feel like I speak pretty casually, bit too slang and all of that. So I was just like, what are you on about? Just talking how we talk. And my parents would be like, can you speak properly? So I didn't really get it, but that's like something again that just was a very different upbringing. And so someone else who might essentially look like me could have a completely different experience of life than me. And that's the thing to remember. And then those things that make us different make us unique. And instead of like feeling ashamed, or I don't know, like feeling like, oh, I need to be a certain way to fit in, I need to be this way to fit into this group. I need to be that way to fit into the group. It's just to accept like that is all of you. So I'm too white for certain spaces. I'm too black for certain spaces, and I just accept that. I'm too African for certain spaces, I'm too European for certain spaces, and I just go with it now. I'm like, that's, I am me. I am all these random mixes, I'm all these different experiences. I like what I like. I grew up how I grew up, and I liked how I grew up. And you might look at it on the outside and like, oh, that was quite a white life. I'm like, what's a white life? What's a black life? To me, those phrase that all sounds kind of funny because it's just like we're human beings. But that's how someone else might see things, and this is how I've lived, and this is my lived experience. So it shapes how I see the world. And for me, then, I'm a person who's like a bridge builder, who wants to connect people, who sort of puts a hand across the divide, likes to focus on what I have in common with people, what what we are working towards, the positive outcomes that we both want, though we might see things very differently, and the way we think to get there is going to be different. So that's been me, a person who's like, always sought to understand someone who might see the world completely different for me, to hear what they say, respectfully hear what they say, and know that, okay, that's a different path they've chosen for me. But that's kind of how I've seen the world, and I think because of how I've lived, that is done that. So being in different culture, living in a culture that's not my own, um, you learn something new, and you see a different way of doing things. So I think all of those types of things, you've got those experiences too. You've got something very unique, and you thinking it's the reason that you can't do something, what you won't be taken seriously. It might be something else. Like for you, might be you didn't go to university, or you didn't learn your skill in the usual way, you taught yourself or something like that. But that's what's going to make someone actually be drawn to you, because there's someone else who's just learning and figuring things out by themselves, and they're like, okay, if they did it, then I could do it. And there's someone else who has gone to university and wants to learn someone who's gone, had that similar path. So all these different things are not a reason to like dismiss yourself and cross yourself out. It's a reason why you're even like more more the right person to share what you're sharing, because there's someone out there who will connect to like your way of seeing things, your personal experience, your personal aspects. So those are reasons why they're going to actually want to buy it from you, not from someone else. And I've seen that in my own life, where I've seen different people, and I'm like, oh, I can identify with that bit of them. Oh yeah, I get that thing of like living in like a smaller place, or I know what they're talking about when they're describing a childhood in Kenya or Africa. Like I can kind of understand that too. And I get drawn to different people, and I love it when, and sometimes I'm drawn to someone, and it's not even because there's that connection for me, but it's what I see is that they own who they are. They own what makes them different. They own their culture ad. So one of my coaches is she's called Mandy, and she was born in Jamaica and been living here, I don't know, a long time. But she sometimes just starts talking in patois, and I was like, I have never seen that in an online space, in a professional like coaching professional coaching person. And I was like, I love that. Like I was just like, I love that. Like just be you. Bring all of you. Bring all of yourself, your culture, your experiences, what you think makes you different, and you're just trying to hide it away. You're trying to like polish over it with professionalism, and I don't know how to say it, like, yeah, painting your walls magnolia when you really want to paint your walls pink and green, or have crazy wallpaper, and you're just like putting magnolia over your whole life, and it's like dulling out all the amazing things that make you different and unique, and why someone's actually going to connect with you. So if that's it, look at your branding, look at your messaging, look at your products you create, think, and just say like, where am I like watering down like who I am, and why I'm different and why I'm unique? Where am I watering down because I think it's not the acceptable way, and I need to like do it the right way, the proper way, the professional way, the sleek way, the polished way, the marketing way, whatever it is. So just, yeah, look at your business, look at all the course you're making, all the thing you want to share. Maybe you're not, it's not business, but you just like blogging about something and teaching, making posts about making, I don't know, crafts or something, and just see where you are sort of trying to fit in with like a more commercial version of it, and how you've seen it taught that you think that's the acceptable way, and then think, okay, what are the things that I think disqualify me from doing this, and then just bring them in, bring those things in, and just, yeah, just let more of you be through your work, through your message, through your crafts, your creation, your design, your speaking, your teaching, whatever it is. So just wanted to share that with you today.